everybody, it's me, Tayo-chan, back with another video of me reading Stargirl. Oops. Reading Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli, and we're doing chapter 18 today, as you can read in the title. Before we get started, I just want to say the same thing I've been saying in the last couple of videos. You're probably tired of it by now, but you know, I want to get to the 150 subscribers. Please subscribe. You'll probably forget you did it later, but if I get to that, I will do a special thingy. And I want to do the special thingy. So, you know? Yeah, if you want to see the special thingy, then subscribe. And eventually, I will do the thingy when I get to 150 subscribers. It's not that big, I don't think. It's like less than 30 away. It's like 20 away, actually. 22 subscribers away, I think. So yeah. Subscribe if you wanna see the thingy. And I'm just gonna start reading now. And like I said earlier, this is chapter 18. Like I also said in the title and the description. Why do I do this? I repeat myself so much. Okay, I'm gonna read now, because, yeah. We were alone. We were the only ones in school. At least that's how it seemed in the following days. As I went about my day, I felt her going about hers. I sensed her movement, her presence in the distant parts of the building. Walking the halls between classes, I didn't have to see her. I knew she was there, unseen in the mob heading my way, about to turn a corner 5 classroom doors down. I homed in on a beacon of her smile. As we approached each other, the noise and the students around us melted away and we were utterly alone, passing, smiling, holding each other's eyes. Floors and walls gone, 2 people in a universe of space and stars. And then one day I began to discover that we were more alone than I had dreamed. It was a Thursday. Normally on that day, after 3rd period, Stargirl and I would pass each other on the 2nd floor around the teacher's lounge. We would smile and say hi and continue on our separate ways to class. On this day, impulsively, I fell in alongside her. How about an escort? I said. She grinned slyly. Anybody in mind? We touched little fingers and walked on. Her next class was on the 1st floor, so we went down the nearest stairway. We were walking side by side. That's when I noticed. No one spoke to us. No one nodded to us. No one smiled at us. No one looked at us. A crowd stairway, and no shoulder, no sleeve brushed us. Students climbing the steps veered to the railing or the wall. Except for Stargirl jabbering in my ear, the usual raucous chatter was absent. Mostly what I noticed were the eyes. Faces turned up from the steps below, but the eyes never connected with us. They went right on through as if they were gamma rays. Or they nipped our ears and rattled off along the walls in other eyes. I had an urge to look down at myself to make sure I was there. At lunch I said to Kevin, "Nobody looks at me." He was staring at his sandwich. "Kevin," I snapped, "now you're doing it." He came up laughing. He looked me square in the eyes. "Sorry." Usually there were others at the table. Today there was only us. I leaned across my lunch. "Kevin, what's going on?" He looked off, then back to me. "I was wondering when you'd notice. Kinda hoping you wouldn't." "Notice what?" He stalled by taking a bite of tuna salad sandwich. He took his time chewing. He drank orangeade from a straw. "First of all, it's not you." I pulled back. I held out my hands. "It's not me." "What's that supposed to mean?" "It's who you're with." I sat there, blinking, staring at him. "Stargirl?" He nodded. "Okay," I said. "So?" He stared at me some more, chewed, swallowed, sipped, looked away, looked back. "They're not talking to her." The words didn't stick. What do you mean? Who's they? He cocked his head at the sea of tables and eaters. Them. Who them? I said, too unhinged to laugh at my grammar. His lips were wet. He wet his lips. All of them, he shrugged. Well, almost. His eyes drifted over my shoulder. There's still 2 girls sitting with her. I glanced back. At the height of Stargirl's popularity, kids had been pulling chairs from other tables to squeeze around hers. Now it was just Stargirl, Dory Dilson, and a 9th grader. So, I said, exactly what is going on? He sipped from his straw. The silent treatment is going on. Nobody's talking to her. It still wasn't sticking. What do you mean nobody's talking to her? What, did everyone have a meeting in the gym and vote on it? It wasn't that official. It just happened. Got up steam. I gaped at him. When? When did it start? How? Why? I was beginning to screech. I don't know exactly. After the basketball stuff, I guess. That really ticked off a lot of people. The basketball stuff. He nodded. The basketball stuff, I repeated dumbly. He put down his sandwich. Leo, don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. Cheering for the other team? What do you think? People thought that was cute? It was her, Kevin. It was harmless. Weird, maybe, but harmless. It was her. He nodded slowly. Yeah, well, I guess that's what I'm saying. It's not just one thing she did. It's everything. Don't tell me you never noticed. Remember a certain tomato? Kevin, a couple of months ago, everybody stood and cheered in the auditorium when she won the oracle contest. Hey, he gestured defensively. Tell them. 1 person threw a tomato. 1. Kevin snickered. Yeah, and 1,000 wanted to. Did you notice the cheers when it happened? People blame her for the team losing, for our undefeated season going down the toilet. I wasn't sure Kevin was still talking about them. Kevin, I felt myself pleading. She's only a cheerleader. Leo, he was pointing. You asked me what was going on. I told you. He stood up and took his tray to the belt. I stared at his empty chair until he returned. Kevin, the happy birthday songs, the Valentine cards, all the nice things she does for people. Doesn't that count for something? The bell rang. He got up. He gathered his books. He shrugged. I guess not. For the rest of the day, and the next, I grew increasingly paranoid. Walking with her in and around the school, I was intensely aware that the nature of our aloneness had changed. It was no longer a cozy tunnel of loved sweetness, but a chilling isolation. We never had to veer, never had to make way for someone else. Everyone made way for us. Hallway crowds fell apart from us, except for Hillary Kimball. Whenever we passed her, she tilted towards us with a gloating smirk on her face. As for Stargirl, she didn't seem to notice. She jabbered constantly in my ear. While I smiled and nodded to her, frost formed on the back of my neck. Wow. That was surprisingly intense for being school kids being bullies. I mean, I guess it can get pretty intense though. Like, I kinda wanna punch those kids. They're so mean to them for no real reason. Like, it's a basketball game? I don't know. Well, that's all for today. That was chapter 18 of Stargirl. Yeah, that's all. Bye. I'll see you next time.